Welcome back to Kosi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world, as long as you are an Arsenal podcast lover, as long as you are an Arsenal fan, as long as you are a sports lover, I greet you all, and of course I welcome you to this episode. Early this morning we're going to be discussing a lot of transfers again. It's the last week. What do we expect out of Arsenal? It's the last week of the transfer window. Arsenal has already made one confirmed signing, one very close signing, and Mikel Arteta still wants two more signings. We're going to be discussing that. Can we make two other signings? And who could they be? We're going to discuss that and more. And of course, Martin Odegaard is doing his medical today, and Arsenal could actually announce the deal today. He must be in London on the next few hours. We are going to be discussing that. Fabrice Romano, of course, gave us an update, and of course he said all the final contacts have been made and the deal was finally agreed. We have a total agreement with all the parties involved. I'm going to be talking about that and more. So smash the like button, get your subscriptions in. Like I said, this is where you'll get the first hand information when it comes to Arsenal. So let us get the party started, and I'll start with Martin Odegaard, who is set to do his medical at Arsenal today. Of course, yesterday I told you his medical was set because everything had been agreed. Galen Belek and Fabrice Romano did confirm that yes, Arsenal had won the battle against Ajax and of course against La Real to take the player. That was finally, green down and grilled down. Now we do understand we have the player. He's going to do his medicals according to Fabrice Romano. We have a total agreement. He's going to do his medicals today, and he might be announced as a national player today. Of course, yesterday so many things leaked out that he's going to put on shirt number 10. There were journalists that were actually leaking out that information in UK that he's going to put on shirt number 10, and many people believe the story. Well, I don't believe the story because I've not seen it. I've not seen him, choose a shirt number, and I told you there are so many available shirt numbers for Martin Odegaard. He could put on 11, a 10, a 26, a 27, a 37. There's so many available shirt numbers for Martin Odegaard, but that deal should be done by today. I think it should be done by today. The strolling, the stalling, all that should actually end by now. That deal should be ending by today. Arsenal might either announce him today, but at least I'm very sure he's going to do his medicals today at Arsenal training ground. And of course, he's going to self-isolate for 10 days before he comes into match action for Arsenal. I know not so many people are very comfortable with that, but with the coronavirus and COVID-19 regulation, the SOPs, you understand the standard operating procedures. A player must isolate for 10 to 14 days if they are coming from abroad, and of course that's not going to change. We all know the situation of the disease. We all know the situation of the pandemic, especially in the UK. Clubs like Aston Villa, they almost had a whole squad infected. They brought their under 23s to play against Liverpool in the in the Carling Cup because almost their squad was down, and of course you do understand what that really means. Actually, it was in the FA Cup, and you understand what that really means. The disease is still out there and is still targeting human blood. So Martin Odegaard will have to self-isolate for 10 days. Of course, I still remember Gabriel Magalhaes also self-isolated. He was coming from France. He also self-isolated for, was it 2 weeks? I think, yeah, it was 2 weeks before he was announced as an Arsenal player. And many Arsenal fans went out there, raging, where is Gabriel Magalhaes, where is he, and so on. But finally, that deal was actually announced at Arsenal. And I still remember I was live, and many people were telling me, because he has been announced, why aren't you talking about it? I still remember those days. But of course, Odegaard is doing his medical today. Let us hope he's not going to become the next Denis Suarez, like we have been warned by Martin Keown. And okay, let me just talk about that a little. Martin Keown says we couldn't find ourselves in the same situation we were in when we signed Denis Suarez from Barcelona on loan, under manager Unai Emery. He could be right because he has all he has all the reasons to be scared. I mean, this signing could become just like the Dennis Suarez signing. But Dennis Suarez was a little bit injury prone. He came at Arsenal. His career was really injured. His stay at Arsenal, not even career, because I don't think he had a career at Arsenal. But his stay at Arsenal was really impacted with a lot of injuries, a lot and lots of injuries. I think that's the reason that's why he never played football at Arsenal. But again, I didn't see him as a player that had come to prove a point at Arsenal. I think he was a bargain. I think he was I don't know, a panic buy, something like that for a January transfer window, something like that. But finally, he went back, and I believe if he had come at Arsenal, and spent some time there, maybe 2 years, maybe he would have become, a better player. I don't know, but of course, I don't want to talk about that. I don't believe Odegaard is going to become, Dennis Suarez. I believe Martin Odegaard is going to become a very, very important player at Arsenal. The only hurting part for me is that we are not going to. We do not have an option to buy. That's the only hurting part for me. If we had an option to buy, you just let this guy go into the starting line, walk straight into the starting lineup, give him, playing time, give him wherever he needs, surround him with the quality youngsters of his age. He's going to become an influential player, and then you sign him in the summer. Because if it works out of him, I don't think Real Madrid are gonna, allow us to sign him after, he makes an, remarkable or, impeccable, impact. I don't think it's, they're going to allow us to take him. But it all remains to be seen if it works, because I really want this deal to work. I really believe it's going to work, and I really want it to work. So let us wait and see whether actually Arsenal will go out there and make this boy a superstar. The one media said he is destined to become 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when he was signing for Real Madrid. And like I said, it was a mistake. It was a mistake for Odegaard to sign for Real Madrid. And if he wants to fight for his career, he needs to get out of Real Madrid. For now, he's 22, okay, 23, turning 23 very soon. He needs to to go to a club for 3-4 years where they're going to see him as an important player, where they're going to appreciate his quality, appreciate his value, and then maybe he can go back to Real Madrid later on, because we know Madrid, they have always done it. They will sign you back when you become a superstar. So that is enough for Martin Odegaard. But there are also reports that Mikel Arteta wants to get in more two players, and the first one is the left back in this January transfer window. I was a little bit skeptical when we talked about a left back, and I told you still remember, I told you I don't think Arsenal is going to go out there and get a left back. Been looking at a couple of them, though, especially Ryan Bertrand from Southampton. That is the signing we've been looking at. Can we complete that signing? Can we do this? Can we do that in regards to Ryan Bertrand? And I still believe Arsenal can actually pull off that signing, because he's going to be a free agent in the summer. I think Southampton would settle for some little money. However, you could also have an agreement with him so that in the summer you get him as a free agent. I mean, it works two way. But we need a backup left back. If Kian gets injured, the slightest of injuries, no one is going to actually replace him at Arsenal. No one, and that's a big risk, isn't it? That's a very, very big risk. So Mikel Arteta wants a left back. I don't know whether he's going to get him. I don't know whether he's going to get him, but he wants a left back. And reports are saying he also wants another midfielder, and that links us basically to Ricky Puig. Yeah, Barcelona. And I talked about Ricky Puig yesterday, and I said he's a wonderful player, but I don't know whether Arsenal can actually pull off those two deals. So that is what I've seen in the morning, this early morning, unless I see something else. But we shall be discussing more and more of the Arsenal stories. Stay on the Arsenal podcast, and please do subscribe to the channel. Much love.